What's up, Digidestins? This is Kyle D, better known as Ridemyavatar, and today we're going to be going over each meta deck call that would be best for you to play in every color going into EX Classic Collection. It's going to be a great format, guys. Analog Boy comes in hard, and Black gets some amazing tools to play with. So, guys, let's dive right into the video and discuss it. So let's go over it, boys and girls. First off, we have Jessamon as Red's go-to. With Jessamon, of course, this deck is still extremely good, really powerful. It gets a little new tools here and there. First off, it gets Biomon. When attacking the player, draw a card. It gets a little more consistent draw power, which this deck kind of does need. So you can promote a little bit earlier, sack a guy out, hopefully dig a little deeper, use red memory boost to get there. You know, it's an OTK deck that just still trucks and goes along. It gets out there. It just hammers in the damage. It just doesn't stop. So, guys, it's just a really solid red deck. Just Jessamon being able to hit for 17 very easily on his own accord and just swing in twice with Judgment of the Blade. And then if you are facing heavy control odds, you could use Dedicated Plan to shut off the options and security. And then Emergency Program Shutdown. Your opponent can't use options until the end of their next turn is a great other option card. Because we do have the Sistermons in deck, we have access to the white cards. So your opponent being able to not blow up Jessamon unless it's through security is huge. And since we have two ways of backing him up with two options that are really powerful, you could see this being teched in long game. Though sadly, this does not shut down options in, you know, the security because they are not activated, and doesn't shut down the memory boosts that are already on field. But it shuts down any new memory boosts coming in. It shuts down anything else that might just seem in their hand that could just blow up Jessamon, and letting Jessamon get another turn in is huge for us, and we kind of need him to survive. So just options really galore. Being able to swing twice, blow up something, minus DPs, security check a bunch of times, you know, just straight up powerhouse and gas. Next, a really great blue deck, I gotta say, is going to be the Ancient Gabumons, or just even Gabumon in general. You can play a lot of text. It gets a new card in the set called Gabum. It's a Gabumon, of course, but when attacking, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 Tamer or 1 Digimon card with Gabumon in its name among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck. So you can definitely use this, climb up with Upamon, Digivolve into Gabumon, then go into Lobomon, and then warp into Ancient Garurumon, swing in at least once, needs to be, and then you get to check the top 3 and try to grab another Gabumon or the Gabumons, just allowing you to filter more often than not. And just having that accessibility to Ice Wall of all things is really good, because all your opponent's Digimon gain when attacking lose 2 memory until the end of your opponent's turn. Great, powerful card, especially when popped in security, you gain 2 memory. So it's another like Hammer Spark in security, and it's nasty. This card alone just makes it so your opponent's just not going to hit you hard enough, and it could pass turn and just instantly give you the game win, because that's your out. That's all you needed to do, and it's just such a stally deck, plus the powerhouse behind it with the Gabumons and the Ancient Garurumon just makes it so worth it, in my opinion. So guys, definitely be on the lookout for this deck. Next, let's talk about it. Lord Nightmon is still Yellow's probably MVP of this format. I'm not even joking. I think Yellow has the long game coming for it, and that's really much true. So Lord Nightmon's still great buyable. It got a decent amount of support in BT 06, and that's just what it's going to do. It's still the most consistent version of itself, and if you are having trouble against OTK decks, just tech in Sayukamon or Yellow War Greymon. Both do phenomenal jobs to take out big threats, and you just handle your opponent from there. Lord Nightmon just floods the field, / Angemon Nightmon just clear out majority of any 14 base. So you don't have to worry too much about that, guys. Actually, let me rephrase that. 12k base, 14 is not actually a viable hit. So just think about it. Then you also can have Pulsemon give your yellow or Greymon his 2 checks with jamming, so he stays around longer. Could be a huge turnaround. Just Sakuyamon is in here just to prevent the OTKs. If you slam that down, most OTK decks just can't recover from that. So it just still does what yellow does, and that, in my opinion, is huge. Just having Lord Nightmon, War Greymon / Angemon, Nightmon combo is just huge, and it's just gonna clear out boards for days. So, next, green is still underwhelming in my opinion in this format, but that's because Security Control exists as a deck, and that's the only reason why this deck struggles as much as it does. If it didn't have to worry about Security Control, this deck would clear out house so quickly. You could probably tech in Dedicated Plan mixed with, Red Ties just to give your OTK, clear out, boom, done, Dedicated Plan. You have no security options left. I win game status, That's how you would probably win that up front. You have Argamon being Argamon. You have Pinamon being Pinamon. Kukuoma is really awesome because if you get this under Bancho Stingmon, that's 4 security checks it can do, and that's just nasty. And it gets beefier when it gets to pierce out something. And even if you can get Mega Kabuterimon underneath it, you could clear out a full security stack and call it a day. So Green Memory Boost definitely helps with Green's biggest issue, and that is, I'm missing a piece. What piece do I need to dig for? Well, Green Memory Boost could help you get that piece back to into your hand very easily, and that could get you back into the game, which you are struggling to do. So with Mimi being able to rest a couple Mimis and get a couple rookies out fast, you might win the game very easily. You could go in an OTK style route, but if you want to go more control-y, I feel like Ancient Troymon's still really good. Arbormon is still a fantastic card, being able to Digivolve on top of the Mimis, giving you more options to go with. So that's kind of the route you want to go with. Nidhogg's still fantastic to wipe out boards, and your opponent just really can't do much. Next, Bellastar. Bellastar 3 Musketeers is still Purple's best variant right now. Titamon's a great second pick, but Bellastar is still probably at endgame status, the most consistent top tier deck in the format, and it gets a new tool called Analog Boy. So reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 Digimon card among them to your hand, or trash the remaining cards. So if you need a little guy to pick you up, you can get Itmons to your hand. You'll trash 2 options. Very controlled situation, which is really nice because you don't want to trash all your hand size right early game. So this will allow you to keep your hand, and then you just fill your graveyard with the options you need. So that can be huge at endgame status. Bellastar just being able to come in cheaper every time, and then return 1 option with a memory cost 7 from your trash to your hand, then use 1 option card with a memory cost 7 in your hand without paying its memory cost, just to blow up things and just call it a day, guys. I don't see any issue with this deck. I see very huge potential, and this is going to be big for all of you. I think Bellastar is going to still continue to be MVP of the format, and you're just going to have to tech in Dedicated Plans to take care of her and her biggest threats. Next, let's talk about it. Black gets like the biggest oomph in EX collection. There's 2 black decks that come out. So the big one that everybody's going to probably go to is Mugandramon, aka Machine Dramon, just because it can't have its DP reduced. So it can swing into Security Control very easily and just keep wailing at them and not care, because you can't blow this thing up. When this Digimon is deleted, you may trash 2 level 5s from among it. So you get to put 5 underneath there. It takes 1, 2, 3 times to take care of this monster. So if you can stop it, you can't have it stick around for 3 deletion effects. That's huge. They're not going to be able to remove this card off board, and that's going to cost them so much. So, and what's really nice, he comes in at 7. So from hand or trash at the top of this Digimon's Digievolution cards to gain 1 memory each. So you can trash any 2 that you want, so you can constantly just pick and choose what you want. And what's really nasty is you can give it security power. You can give it just opponent power just straight up on opponent's turns. You can give it blocker if you wanted. You can give it reboot so it can swing and restand. Then you have just deleting one of your opponent's play cost 5s. You can just pop something else. Make it give guaranteed blocker. Next, you do have Metal Greymon to give it more power if you wanted to, because it's all cyborg types. And then if you wanted to, if you had a Tamer in play, it doesn't need to be any color. You can just instantly pop minus 2000 DP something. That's going to be huge. Then you have Mega Dramon giving power on your turn to swing. Then you have Security Plus with this Machine Dramon here. Mega Dramon, I mean. So it's just constantly getting power, and then you can give it Pierce if you wanted to. Iron Fist Onslaught to remove threats you don't like. Ultimate Connection is huge because you can trash one card to make this pretty much gain 1 memory, cost 0, gain 1 memory, and draw a card. They literally didn't want to make this into a free card, but they literally made it into a free card. So trash 1 level 5 cyborg with traits in your hand to gain 2 memory, draw a card. So 0 cost, gain 1 memory, draw a card. Activate this main effect. What's nasty is on your opponent's turn, if it pops in security, it is one of the nastiest cards you're going to deal with, because activate the main effect, they're getting 2 and instantly drawing a card. What? And then you have Izzy Joe being Izzy Joe, constantly giving you memory. Analog Boy being if you lose a level 5 or higher, if they kill off Machine Dramon, you can instantly get it to pass to your turn and give you extra memory. So you can just slam it down again. So it doesn't matter. Machine Dramon sticks around so hardcore, it's not even funny. It's going to be one of those decks that you need to look out for. I promise you, be afraid of this deck. Next, you do have Diaboromon coming up the rear. It's going to be a very interesting deck in general because Diaboromon gains the ability to have its tokens gain blocker, its tokens gain protection from level 7 board wipes. You can then, if you feel like your blockers can't stick around long enough, just put a very nice card underneath it, and I'm going to recommend this really nicely. Put a Ridemyavatar in here. If you put 1 Ridemyavatar in here, your tokens will stick around longer, and you can just keep them all safe, because then they can't blow it up with Iron Fist Onslaughts, but most of your tokens would die anyway because they are the 14s. They're usually the highest on the board, besides an Armageddonmon. So, you know, you win some, you lose some in those situations, but Ariata, Sanada, Ariata Sanada is like your best friend in this deck, because being able to produce Diaboromon tokens is what this deck needed, and it just gains more and more power. It's just all in all a great deck. Gains more power. Each of your Digimon in play with the same name as this Digimon gains 1000 DP. Then you have ways of gaining memory to keep it your turn. You have Rush, so they can just swing instantly and just blow up in Kamikaze. When one of your other Digimon with the same name as this Digimon is deleted, unsuspend this Digimon once per turn, so this Digimon could swing twice. It gets nasty pretty quickly. And just adding Izzy Joe into this is huge, just so that you can get more memory out of the deal. Just all around great deck. And this card is this deck is going to see a lot of play in EX, because a lot of Diaboromon fans are waiting for this deck to go live. And I promise you, you're going to see a lot in tournaments. So guys, without further ado, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace!